They always say to never skip breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, that's true. That's great advice. But I always say as well to never skip water. Water is an essential part of our lives. Literally an essential part of our lives. And I went to the grocery store I drink an extremely dangerous amount of coffee. And I thought to myself one day, I got to make a change. So I went to the grocery store and I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick up some water. Smart water was right there on the shelf. And I was like, I'm going to get smart water. I didn't really have a game plan going in. I was like, water's water. Took a sip of it. I was like, man, stuff's good, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's something that's smooth. It's got great flavor. If water can even have flavor, it's just, I can't even explain it. It's good. It's good. So if you're ever thirsty for water, if your mouth is so dry that you can't even feel your tongue, go out and get yourself some smart water. It's got those electrolytes. It's going to replenish your body and get you going for the day. Smart water. Go ahead and go and get yourself some. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first installment of the Here's the Thing podcast. I'm your host, Mason Svengros. I will be guiding you graciously on this journey of mine with this podcast that I decided to start. Just as a forewarning, I'm going to be doing this on YouTube as well. So I am in video form. Hello, everybody on YouTube. Ignore the horrible, I just realized this now. Ignore the horrible studio setup, okay? I got a laundry basket in the back, got a vacuum here. I probably should have cleaned up before, but you know what? This is a podcast. We're gonna progress as we get going. I'm excited, man. I'm nervous. I'm excited to get this journey going. This first episode will be kind of an autobiography of who I am. We'll cover who I am in case you are new and don't know who I am and haven't seen any of my, past content that I have put out into the social media world. So you'll get to know me, and then we'll kind of, cover what this podcast is going to be about. Again, early stages, inaugural episode. So I'm not even sure what this podcast is going to be about. I've got a rough estimate, but I got some ideas. So let's start off with who am I? I'm Mason Svengros. I am from Wisconsin, the cold state, which it was very cold today. It was 22 degrees here in Wisconsin, but it was very windy, about like 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's very cold, even for somebody who's lived in Wisconsin as long as I have. When I say it's cold, it's cold. So that's all you need to know. I'm from Wisconsin. I am 29. I'm almost 30. I'm getting up there, man. I'm almost about to hit the big 3-0. So, we'll see how that goes. That's next year. We'll see. I am a multifaceted entertainer. As some like to call themselves aliens. It's just a cool alternative way to describe being multifaceted, I guess. I can do a little bit of singing, as you can see from my background. If you're watching on YouTube, I've got 3 guitars lined up on my wall right here, right there. I can also sing, play the guitar. Got a little bit of piano action right here. Boop 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 boop. Breaking into Mario theme. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of known for. That's how I kind of got my start, was singing in music. And kind of drifted off from that now. I am the voice of SpongeBob, not the actual Nickelodeon SpongeBob. I'm the voice of SpongeBob in a YouTube channel, J Chase Films, a part of his SpongeBob in Real Life series. So if you guys want to go check that out, you should. You should check it out. I'm telling you, you should. So it's very cool what it's mind-blowing to me what he can do. Way over my head with that animation. It is the closest thing to the actual Nickelodeon SpongeBob that you can get. And I guess I'll give you a little backstory of how that came about. I can do a SpongeBob impression. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing the voice. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. From when I was younger, I was actually sitting in the back of my parents' van. I think it was a van at the time. And this is back in the day of age when people had TVs that you could actually put a DVD in the back of your car and watch it. And I, like any young kid watching SpongeBob would do, got done watching an episode and went on to special features. And it was kind of like a behind the scenes of how Tom Kenny, the current voice of SpongeBob, how he does the laugh. And he was like, you have to do this with your hand. You got to be like, "Ah!" And I was like, ooh, maybe I should try that. And obviously that came out. It was very faint though, because I didn't want my mom to hear, because I was embarrassed at the fact that what if I would be able to do this and she heard me, because I'm a very shy person off the camera, very closed book. I was like, it wasn't like a "da!" immediately. It was like a "da!" I can't even do it. I can't even do it anymore. But I kind of surprised myself. I was like, oh shoot, I can do this. And then I went home that day and went into my room and started repeatedly doing it and watching more and more SpongeBob episodes. Got that repetition, and now it's and then I added the voice to it. It was to a point at first where I had to like do the laugh to initiate the voice, but now I can kind of do it, without doing the laugh first. So, but it was to a point where I had to like, oh my God, Patrick, that's just a hilarious joke, that kind of a thing. So, he happened upon one of my videos that I posted online. I can't remember if it was YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it was. And he was like, man, because he was really struggling to find somebody who could do the voice nearly perfect. And he was like, man, your voice is literally spot on. And I was wondering if you wanted to, be the voice of SpongeBob for my series. And I was like, at first I thought it was a joke, because before that, I was doing a lot of other content stuff, and I had gotten messages from people before and emails before, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, right? It's like a fake email from somebody or whatever. And but it was a legitimate email, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm actually getting like an opportunity right here. And I was like, I can't pass this up. He sent me a picture of what his channel was. I looked and saw the subscribers and the view counts he got, and I was like, man, this is legit. And it's kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity kind of a thing. And I was like, all right. So I dived off the diving board, went in, and the rest is history. We've had several sessions together, and it's awesome. It's awesome being able to be the voice of SpongeBob for his channel and help him along on his journey. So that is how that came about. So music wise, my uncle is a musician, and he has been since he was very young. So naturally, he was doing gigs and stuff. And when I was younger, I used to go to his gigs that he would have at night locally, and I was very young, so it was at a bar, and I could only watch until 9 because 9 o'clock rolls around. That's when the bar starts to get a little rowdy. So I would watch him until 9, and then I would go and go into the arcade and do my leisurely kid thing, play games in the arcade until my parents decided it was time to go home. So. Sorry, I'm just drinking some smart water here. Go and get yourself some. So yeah, that was that. And I kind of latched on to that, and I was like, man, I kind of want to do this. It inspired me to kind of want to do music. I guess I just picked up the skill from, watching my uncle. And I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 93, so watched a lot of Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees, whatever. So I'm sure watching that really repetitively just kind of, gave me the skill set, I guess you would say. And I'm a fan of music in general, dude. So it's I guess it just comes naturally to me. So I'm very grateful for that to be the case, because I'm not really equipped to do anything else. I'm not very good at anything else. I don't know anything about cars. I know the bare minimum, the basic. I don't know anything about building anything, home improvement. I know the bare necessities, the basics. I'm not a professional at that. I'm athletic, but not enough to be on a professional level. I would get killed in the NFL. I would absolutely get destroyed. I wanted to be a kicker in the NFL for the Green Bay Packers when I was younger. But even then I would get destroyed. I'm athletic, but not that athletic. I'm decent at basketball. I'm decent at throwing the football around. I played baseball in Little League. When I was younger, I bowled. So, I'm a sports fan as well. So I'm a fan of a lot of things. And that's kind of how this podcast idea came to be. I also did some live streaming content with my friends as well back in the day, and that kind of gave me a background on this kind of a situation. And I thought, why not gel those worlds together and make a podcast? I know a lot about sports, a lot about entertainment. Why not gel the worlds together and make a podcast? We could debate topics and everything else in between, and I thought it would be cool. And I've been told that I've got a very good radio voice. I've got a voice ready for radio, apparently. I don't hear it necessarily myself. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm very hard on myself. I'm my worst critic. But I've been told from family to friends to coworkers, etc., that I've got a radio voice. So maybe, give podcasting a try. And here I am giving it a try. So yeah, like I said, I wanted this podcast to be an autobiography podcast, kind of an introductory, to me and, what the podcast is going to be about. And I just kind of touched on that. But again, I'll say, like I said, I know a lot about sports, music, entertainment, whatever. We can debate, discuss any topic that you guys want me to cover, talk about. I would love to have you guys weigh in on what you guys want to hear. What anything. I'm open to suggestions. But for sports, I am a Packer fan. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm a Packer fan. This year has been very rough. I guess we could discuss in this one to make it a bit of a longer podcast. I didn't really have an official length for what I wanted this podcast to be. So I guess I'll just kind of wing it for the first episode. And then I'll have more of a concrete, organized episode coming up next. But I got my notebook so I can write down and jot down some ideas and suggestions from you guys as well. But as far as sports, covering sports, like I said, I'm a Packer fan. Unfortunately, this year it's not great. And I'm a Bucks fan. If you're watching on YouTube, I've got a Milwaukee Bucks hoodie. They just won. I got my sweats on as well. I'm decked out Bucks, man. They're having a great year this year, and you love to see it. But yeah, you would love to see the Packers do a little bit better, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's the way the cards are dealt, I guess, this year. I knew it was going to be rough as a Packer fan when Davante Adams left to go to Vegas. He wanted to play with his college teammate. He wanted to move closer to family. His family, I think, is from California, if I'm not mistaken. He's from California, and Las Vegas is essentially close to California. So that was that situation. I knew it was going to be rough. I just didn't know how rough. And 4-8 currently is pretty rough. We're still mathematically alive in the playoff race, but we have to win out. Literally win out. We were saying this last week, too. We have to win out these next 5 games, literally. And we also have to have some other teams kind of, falter. So, I don't know. I don't want to make any more predictions because I've made a lot of Green Bay Packers content this year since they started to struggle since London when Aaron Rodgers broke that thumb on the storing hand that he has right now. And, I've exhausted everything that I've had to say about the Packers. It's just not great right now. Christian Watson has been doing great. He battled some demons early, but he's starting to get it going. So hopefully he can keep on that trend, knock on wood. I think I just saw earlier today that Romeo Doubs and Devondre Campbell. For those of you that are not Packer fans, I apologize, but if you know who those two people are, that is huge for us. If we could get them back this week, Romeo Doubs can kind of balance out that wide receiver depth, and that would be huge. And then Devondre Campbell is pretty much the captain, the signal caller for our defense. So it would be huge to get those two back, but we'll have to see. Our injury situation has not been very, very good. So we'll see what happens there. I'm just going to take a sip of wine, if you don't mind. I'm a wine drinker. That's another thing. Hey, I'm a very good wine drinker. I love my wine. I'm not necessarily. I guess that's the whole debate, right? Like, if you say like, well, I'm not really, a big alcoholic. Well, do you drink wine? Yes. Well, then you're an alcoholic. It's like, bro, don't get so defensive. I mean, I have it because it helps me fall asleep at night. That alcohol percentage, if it rises up, count me in, because if that puts me out in like an hour, I'm good. Because I have a day job that's pretty intense, and I got to get a good night's sleep beforehand to really make it through the day. And like I said, in my advertisement for Smart Water, the ad that's not an ad, because we're, like I said, in the very early stages of this podcast. I drink a ridiculously, intensely dangerous amount of coffee during the day. It's a problem. It's an addiction. I guess it's one of the better addictions that you could have. Could be worse things. That's a whole nother discussion, another whole side tab. But yeah, man, I love coffee. Who doesn't? If you don't, you must be. No, that means this is a judge-free zone. This is positivity zone, Mason. Don't everybody's different. No. I just love coffee, dude. And it's sometimes too much. And I can sometimes have it at like 9 o'clock at night, which is not good, which is what I did. But I'm not working tomorrow, so it's fine. So what was I talking about? I get distracted easy. Oh yes, sports, Packers. Done with that. Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I was excited when they won the championship. Was that 2 years ago now? Holy crap. Yeah, because they didn't make it last year. They were bounced by the Celtics. But yeah, man, they're doing a pretty good job this year, man. I think they won tonight. They have 5 losses. Yes, 5 losses. And how many wins? We're going to check right now. We're going to check live on podcast. We're going to check. Check mic 1, 2. I'm hoping everybody can hear me okay, actually, by the way, because my computer is kind of running out of disk space. It's an old computer, so it's chugging along. It's a trooper. It's a champ. 15-5. That is their current record. They just beat the Knicks 109-103 in New York at Madison Square Garden tonight. Very tight, close game. But, Giannis fouled out of that game. Got it done. Grayson Allen. If you guys are sports fans, you remember his Duke history. He's been doing well for us. And if you're, let me just preface, if you're not a sports fan, let me just say this. I apologize, and I'm talking a lot of sports right now, but I'm just kind of trying to give you an idea of what this podcast is going to be about. We're going to be covering all topics: sports, entertainment, music, etc. So there'll be hopefully a topic for anybody. Like I said, that's why I said, if you have suggestions for what you want me to discuss and talk about, put them in the comment section of whichever way you're viewing, whether it be, because I'm going to try to scatter this across all platforms, wherever podcasts are streamed and YouTube. So, yeah, the Bucks. Getting sidetracked again. I'll get better, I promise. The Bucks, yes, they're doing well. Giannis is, of course, the engine that drives that team. Of course, you got the complementary pieces, something that the Packers can't seem to figure out because their front office is jank. but I digress. Yeah, you got the complimentary pieces. Chris Middleton is rumored to potentially come back on Friday night against the Lakers in Milwaukee. That would be huge to get K-Mid back. But yeah, the Bucks, they're doing good. They're doing good. So, yeah, that's basically in a nutshell what this podcast is going to be, you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, this is only for you guys. And if you're not, you can imagine me pointing and stuff. Oh, Mason. If you look behind me, you got a microphone right here. This is going to be if I have any in-studio guests down the line. This is where they will sit, and we'll have like a dual discussion with somebody in studio. So that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, I like I said, I didn't really have a set time frame for this podcast today, this episode, but I just wanted to give you like an introductory, and I felt like that was a good introductory. You got to kind of know me a little bit, my personality, what this podcast is going to be about. I think we covered it. So at the sake of not babbling like an idiot over and over, I think I'm going to end the podcast here. I felt like that was solid. Like I said, as a recap, if you guys have any suggestions about what you want this podcast to be, discussing, topics in sports, music, entertainment, anything about those topics, something outside of those, I don't even know what we would talk about. It's up to you guys, and I'll also jot down some suggestions in my Amazon bought journal, diary, whatever. No, it's not a diary. I don't do diaries, or do I? Man of mystery. So yeah. If you are listening to this podcast and you listen all the way through, I really do appreciate you guys. I really would love to see this, kind of take off for me. I had fun. I had a blast just talking to you guys, and I don't know. I feel comfortable doing this. So, along with my SpongeBob job and my music and everything else. So I promise for the next episode, it will be more organized. I'll have some topics to discuss. I will clean up my background. Oh my God, I keep looking at the back, and I'm so freaking embarrassed. Laundry basket, vacuum. Home ownership is a thing. But yes, if you are watching, listening, I really do appreciate you guys. All love. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know what you want us to discuss and talk about. And yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching to the first inaugural episode of the Here's the Thing podcast with your boy Mason Svengros. Stay safe. It's a weird time in the world right now, and just stay safe out there in every sense of the word. Thank you guys so much, and until the next episode, thank you very much.